There are moments in life when everything feels uncertain, when the prayers seem unanswered, when the waiting feels endless, and when the doors you hoped would open remain firmly shut. You may be standing in one of those moments right now, wondering if God has forgotten you, wondering why your season has been marked by struggle, disappointment, and delay. But what if the very season that has tested your faith is the same season God is using to prepare you for something greater than you can imagine? Scripture reminds us that there is a time for everything and a season for every purpose under heaven. Nothing in your life is random. Nothing is wasted. Every delay, every hardship, every unanswered prayer has meaning in the hands of a sovereign God. What feels like stagnation to you may actually be divine preparation. What feels like rejection may actually be divine protection. And what feels like an ending may simply be the beginning of a new season God is shifting in your favor. God works in seasons. Nature itself reveals this truth. Winter does not last forever. Spring always follows. The barren trees that appear lifeless eventually bloom again. The fields that seem empty are quiet, lying ready to produce harvest. In the same way, your spiritual life moves through seasons. There are seasons of planting, seasons of waiting, seasons of pruning, and seasons of harvest. The challenge is that while we celebrate the harvest, we often struggle to trust God in the waiting. Waiting can be painful. It can feel lonely. It can test every part of your faith. You pray and heaven seems silent. You hope and circumstances seem unchanged. You believe, and yet the breakthrough doesn't come when you expected it. But silence does not mean absence. Delay does not mean denial. God is often doing his greatest work in the hidden places beneath the surface, where your eyes cannot yet see. Sometimes God closes doors because the room behind them is too small for your future. Sometimes he removes people because they cannot go where he is taking you. Sometimes he allows discomfort because comfort would keep you from growth. The pain you have experienced may not make sense now, but one day you may look back and realize it was the very thing that prepared you for the blessing you are about to receive. Preparation is not always pleasant. It often involves stretching, refining, and surah. Daring? Gold must go through fire before it shines. Seeds must be buried before they grow. Muscles must be strained before they become stronger. And faith must be tested before it becomes unshakable. If God is allowing pressure in your life, it may be because he is strengthening you for the next season. Do not mistake your current struggle for your final destination. Where you are now is not where you will always be. The tears you have cried are not unnoticed. The prayers you whispered in the darkness have been heard. The disappointments that broke your heart have not escaped God's attention. He is not distant. He is not indifferent. He is intimately involved in every detail of your life, even when you cannot feel his presence. There are shifts happening that you cannot yet perceive. Doors are being aligned. Hearts are being moved. Circumstances are changing. Opportunities are being prepared. God can accomplish in one moment what you have been trying to make happen for years. One divine shift can change everything. One answered prayer can erase years of waiting. One unexpected opportunity can transform your entire future. But before the season changes outwardly, something often change inwardly. God may be asking you to prepare your heart. Are you ready to receive what you've been praying for? Have you become the person capable of stewarding the blessing? Sometimes we ask God for increase while holding on to fear. We ask for breakthrough while clinging to doubt. We ask for new beginnings while refusing to let go of old wounds. Preparation means trusting God enough to release what no longer belongs in your life. It means surrendering bitterness, fear, resentment, and control. It means choosing faith even when feelings suggest otherwise. It means waking up each day with expectancy, believing that God is working even when you cannot see evidence of it. Do not let your current circumstances define your expectations. Your situation may look impossible, but God specializes in impossible things. He can restore what was lost. He can heal what was broken. He can revive what seems dead. He can open doors no one can shut. He can bring beauty from ashes and joy from mourning. Perhaps this season has felt like winter, cold, barren, and silent. But winter is never permanent. Beneath the frozen ground, life is still stirring. Roots are still growing. Preparation 1, still happening. And when the appointed time arrives, what was hidden will suddenly emerge. Trust the timing of God. His calendar is not rushed, and His plans are not delayed. What feels late to you is perfectly on time in His hands. He sees what you cannot see. He knows what you do not know. He is orchestrating events in ways beyond your understanding. Lift your eyes beyond the pain. Refuse to let discouragement steal your hope. Speak life over your future. Declare that your season is changing. Believe that what God promised will come to pass. Prepare yourself emotionally, spiritually, and mentally for the shift that is coming. The same God who carried you through the difficult season is the God leading you into a season of favor. The same hands that held you in the valley will guide you to the mountaintop. The same voice that comforted you in your waiting will rejoice with you in your breakthrough. Your waiting has not been wasted. Your tears have not been ignored. Your faith has not been in vain. God is shifting seasons, and what once felt like delay may soon become the testimony of His perfect timing. Stay faithful. Stay expectant. Stay ready. What is ahead may be greater than anything you left behind. There are seasons in life that test every part of your faith. Seasons when nothing seems to move, when prayers feel unanswered, and when the future looks uncertain. You may find yourself asking, why is this taking so long? Or why does it seem like everyone else is moving forward while I remain stuck? In those moments, it is easy to become discouraged. It is easy to believe that God has forgotten you. But the truth is, God has not forgotten you. He is working according to His perfect timing, and every season you walk through has divine purpose. Life does not move according to our schedules. We often want immediate answers, quick breakthroughs, and instant solutions. We pray today and expect change tomorrow. But God does not operate on human timelines. His perspective is eternal. He sees the beginning and the end. He knows what needs to happen before your blessing can be released. What feels like a delay to you may actually be divine alignment. God may be arranging circumstances, preparing hearts, and removing obstacles that you cannot yet see. Trusting God's timing means believing that even when nothing appears to be happening, something is happening. Beneath the surface, God is always at work. Just as a farmer plants a seed and waits patiently for it to grow, there are seasons when your role is simply to trust and remain faithful. The seed beneath the soil looks invisible, but it is developing roots. It is strengthening in hidden places before it can break through into the light. Your life may feel hidden right now, but hidden does not mean forgotten. Hidden often means preparation. There are moments when God intentionally slows us down, not to punish us, but to prepare us. Sometimes if He gave us what we wanted immediately, we would not be ready to handle it. We ask for greater opportunities, but God first builds greater character. We ask for open doors, but God first teaches us patience. We ask for blessings, but God first strengthens our faith. Preparation often happens in silence, in waiting, and in uncertainty. It is difficult to trust when life feels painful. Closed doors can feel like rejection. Delays can feel like disappointment. Unanswered prayers can feel like silence. But every closed door may be protecting you from something not meant for you. Every delay may be saving you from something arriving too soon. Every unanswered prayer may be God's way of giving you something better than what you requested. Think about how seasons work in nature. Winter often looks barren. Trees lose their leaves. The ground appears lifeless. The air feels cold and empty. Yet beneath the surface, roots are still alive. Growth is still taking place where the eye cannot see it. Preparation continues even in apparent stillness. Your spiritual winter may feel lonely, but it does not mean God has stopped working. It means something deeper is happening. Faith grows strongest in seasons where answers are absent. Anyone can trust when everything is going well. Anyone can praise when blessings are visible. But real faith says, even when I cannot see it, I believe God is moving. Even when I do not understand, I trust His plan. Even when the waiting hurts, I know His timing is perfect. Trusting divine timing requires surrender. It means releasing the need to control outcomes. It means laying down your own timetable and accepting God's calendar. This is not easy because human nature wants certainty. We want explanations. We want guarantees. But faith is not built on guarantees, it is built on trust in the character. Of God. You may not understand why certain things had to happen. You may not know why some prayers were delayed, or why certain relationships ended, or why some opportunities disappeared. But one day, what feels confusing now may become clear. One day you may look back and thank God for every delay, every closed door, and every season that forced you to depend on Him. Sometimes God keeps you in a waiting season because He wants you to know Him more deeply. Blessings can make us grateful, but waiting makes us intimate with God. In the quiet moments of uncertainty, you learn to hear His voice more clearly. You learn to depend on His presence more fully. You learn that He is enough even before the answer arrives. Do not rush your season. Do not compare your journey to someone else's timeline. What God is doing in your life is unique. Your path is different because your purpose is different. Comparison only breeds frustration, but trust produces peace. God knows exactly when your next season should begin. He knows when you are ready. He knows when the circumstances are aligned. The same God who delayed the answer is the God who promises that every season has its appointed time. Nothing can stop what He has prepared for you. What He has planned will come at the right moment, not too early, not too late, but exactly when it should. So if you are in a season of waiting, do not lose heart. Continue to pray. Continue to believe. Continue to trust even when emotions tell you otherwise. God's silence is not abandonment. His delay is not denial. His timing is never careless. Every moment is purposeful. Every season is meaningful. And even now, while you wait, God is shifting things in ways you cannot yet imagine. Pain is one of the most difficult experiences to understand when walking by faith. No one willingly asks for hardship. No one prays for disappointment, heartbreak, or seasons of deep uncertainty. Yet some of the greatest transformations in life are born in moments of struggle. What feels like suffering today may actually be preparation for the future God has designed for you. The trials you are enduring are not meaningless. They are shaping you, refining you, and building within you the strength needed for what lies ahead. It is natural to question pain. We ask why certain doors closed, why relationships ended, why opportunities disappeared, and why answers seem delayed. In our human understanding, pain often feels like punishment or abandonment. But in God's hands, pain can become a powerful instrument of preparation. He sees beyond the present discomfort. He knows what your future requires. And sometimes, before He can elevate you, He must first strengthen you. Think about how valuable things are formed. Gold must endure intense fire before impurities are removed and its beauty can shine. Diamonds are created under immense pressure deep within the earth. Seeds must be buried in darkness before they can break through the soil and grow into something beautiful. In the same way, spiritual growth often begins in hidden places of hardship. The pressure you feel may not be there to break you white, may be there to shape you. There are lessons that can only be learned in difficult seasons. Success may teach gratitude, but struggle teaches dependence. Blessings may bring joy, but trials build endurance. When life is easy, faith can remain shallow. But when challenges arise and answers are not immediate, your trust in God is stretched. You begin to lean on Him in ways you never have before. You discover that His strength becomes most evident, when your own strength is gone. Sometimes God allows pain because He is removing things that no longer belong in your life. It may be an unhealthy attachment, misplaced confidence, or a dependence on something other than Him. Loss can be painful, but sometimes it is necessary. A gardener prunes branches not to destroy the plant, but to make it healthier and more fruitful. In the same way, God may be pruning areas of your life so that future blessings can grow. It can be difficult to understand why certain hardships are necessary. Why would God allow tears? Why would He permit seasons of loneliness, confusion, or heartbreak? The answer may not always be immediate. Some questions may remain unanswered for a long time. But even when understanding is absent, trust can remain. You do not need to know everything God is doing in order to believe He is doing something good. Pain has a way of exposing what is inside the heart. It reveals fears, insecurities, doubts, and weaknesses that might otherwise remain hidden. While that process can be uncomfortable, it is often necessary for healing and growth. God does not expose weakness to shame you. He reveals it so He can strengthen you. He allows certain struggles to bring hidden wounds to the surface so they can finally be surrendered and healed. Spiritual maturity is often forged in seasons where comfort is removed. When familiar support systems fail, when plans collapse, when expectations are shattered, you are invited into deeper dependence on God. It is in those moments that faith becomes more than words. It becomes a lifeline. Prayer becomes more sincere. Worship becomes more intimate. Trust becomes more deliberate. Do not underestimate what God can accomplish through your current struggle. Every tear you cry, every prayer you whisper, every moment you choose faith over fear is shaping your future. You may feel weak, but you are becoming stronger. You may feel broken, but God is rebuilding something more resilient within you. You may feel delayed, but God is preparing you for something you could not yet carry before. There are blessings that require preparation. If they arrive too early, they might overwhelm rather than uplift you. God loves you enough not to release certain things until your character is ready. He knows that true blessing is not only about receiving something new, it is about becoming someone who can handle it with wisdom, humility, and gratitude. Pain also creates compassion. Those who have suffered deeply often become sources of comfort for others. The wounds you have endured may one day become the very place from which you offer hope. The struggles that once brought you to your knees may become part of the testimony that lifts someone else. God never wastes pain. He can transform even the darkest experiences into something meaningful. You may not see the purpose now. You may not understand why this season has been so difficult. But do not assume that because it hurts, it lacks purpose. Some of God's most important work happens in places of discomfort. The stretching, the refining, and the waiting are all part of a greater process. When you are tempted to give up, remember that preparation often feels hardest just before the breakthrough. The seed pushes hardest against the soil before it emerges. Dawn is darkest before the first light appears. The struggle you feel may be evidence that something is about to shift. Continue to trust even when the process is painful. Continue to believe even when the path is unclear. Continue to surrender what you cannot conquer. Control and place it in God's hands. Your pain is not your final story. It is part of the preparation. It is shaping a stronger faith, a wiser heart, and a deeper relationship with the one who is guiding every step. There comes a moment in every season of waiting when God begins to move in ways that cannot yet be seen. Before the visible breakthrough arrives, something begins to shift in the unseen. Circumstances start aligning. Doors that once remained closed begin to loosen. Hearts begin to change. Paths begin to clear. Heaven begins to prepare what earth has not yet revealed. The challenge is that many people give up just before the shift happens. They become weary in the waiting, discouraged by the delay, and blinded by present struggles. But faith calls you to expect movement even when everything around you appears unchanged. God often works quietly before He works suddenly. For a long time, it may seem as if nothing is happening. The same problems remain. The same prayers seem unanswered. The same burdens continue to weigh heavily on your heart. But beneath the surface, divine arrangements are being made. What appears still to your eyes may actually be full of unseen activity. God is never inactive. He is always moving, always preparing, always aligning the right moment for His purpose to unfold. A divine shift can happen faster than you imagine. One conversation can change your direction. One opportunity can open a new future. One answer to prayer can erase years of waiting. One unexpected blessing can restore what was lost. God can transform your situation in a single moment. But before that moment arrives, He often asks you to prepare yourself not only outwardly, but inwardly. Preparation begins in the heart. It means choosing expectancy over fear. It means believing that God's promises are still true even when your emotions say otherwise. Fear will tell you that nothing will ever change. Doubt will whisper that your prayers are too late. Disappointment will try to convince you that what was lost can never be restored. But faith speaks a different language. Faith says that what is impossible with man is possible with God. Faith says that delayed blessings are not denied blessings. Faith says that today's struggle may be the very place where tomorrow's testimony begins. If God is shifting your season, you must be willing to release what belongs to T. Old one? Many people ask for new beginnings while holding tightly to old wounds. They want fresh favor while carrying bitterness from past disappointments. They seek open doors while refusing to let go of what has already closed. But every new season requires surrender. You cannot fully embrace what God is about to do while clinging to what has already ended. Let go of fear. Let go of resentment. Let go of the need to understand every detail. Let go of the pressure to control outcomes. Surrender creates space for faith. When your hands are open, you are able to receive what God wants to place in them. But when your hands are full of anxiety and doubt, it becomes difficult to recognize the blessings He is offering. Prepare your mind for favor. Too often, people become conditioned by hardship. They expect disappointment because disappointment has become familiar. They expect closed doors because they have faced rejection. They expect silence because they have waited so long. But when God begins to shift seasons, He invites you to think differently. Expect restoration. Expect healing. Expect provision. Expect unexpected opportunities. Not because life guarantees comfort, but because God remains faithful. Preparation also means strengthening your spiritual foundation. Stay rooted in prayer. Stay connected to truth. Continue worshiping even when emotions are low. Continue trusting even when circumstances seem unchanged. Faith must remain active while you wait. The season may be shifting, but your responsibility is to remain ready. Sometimes the greatest obstacle to receiving what God has prepared is not external, it is internal. It is unbelief. It is the quiet fear that says, what if nothing changes? But faith must rise above fear. You may not know when the shift will happen, but you can choose to live as though it is already on the way. Walk with expectation. Speak with hope. Prepare your heart as someone who believes that God is working. The signs of a changing season are not always dramatic at first. Sometimes they begin with renewed peace. Sometimes they begin with unexpected strength. Sometimes they begin with small opportunities or quiet confirmations. Do not overlook small beginnings. Great transformations often start with subtle movement. A single step can begin a new journey. A small opening can become a wide door. A quiet answer can lead to a powerful breakthrough. God's favor does not mean the absence of challenges, but it does mean His presence within them. It means that what once worked against you can begin to work for you. It means that obstacles can become stepping stones. It means that what seemed impossible can suddenly become possible. The season you have endured has prepared you more than you realize. The waiting has taught patience. The pain has built endurance. The uncertainty has deepened your dependence on God. You are not the same person you were when this season began. You are stronger, wiser, more grounded, more aware of your need for Him, and that growth is part of your preparation. Do not allow discouragement to steal your anticipation. Your story is still unfolding. The chapter you are in now is not the final one. The closed doors, the delays, and the disappointments are not the end. They are part of the journey that has been shaping you for what is next. Lift your eyes and prepare your heart. God is still writing your story. He is still arranging what you cannot yet see. The shift may be closer than you think, and the favor that awaits may exceed everything you have imagined. In every season of L, if one truth remains unshakable, God is always at work, even when you cannot see it. The waiting, the pain, the closed doors, and the moments of uncertainty were never meant to destroy your faith. They were meant to strengthen it. Every delay has carried purpose. Every hardship has been shaping your character. Every unanswered prayer has been preparing your heart for something greater than you could have imagined. What felt like silence was not God's absence, it was his hidden preparation. What felt like rejection was often his protection. And what felt like an ending may have simply been the beginning of a divine transition into a new and better season. Do not let temporary struggles convince you that your future is without hope. Seasons change, and so will your circumstances. The same God who sustained you in moments of weakness will lead you into moments of victory. The same hands that held you through the darkest nights are now guiding you toward a new dawn. Your tears have not been wasted. Your prayers have not gone unheard. Your faith has not been in vain. God has been preparing you, refining you, and positioning you for the season he has already appointed for your breakthrough. So stand firm in faith. Keep trusting when you do not understand. Keep believing when the evidence is not yet visible. Keep praying when heaven seems quiet. Prepare your heart, because what lies ahead may be greater than anything you have left behind. God is shifting seasons in your favor, and at the appointed time, what he has promised will come to pass in ways that will remind you that his timing is always perfect. Your waiting season is ending, your new beginning is approaching, and the God who brought you this far will faithfully carry you into the season of blessing he has prepared just for you.